Well, ladies and gentlemen, this morning the first order of business will be for me to do something that, of all the awards that we give, and we give a lot of awards, of all the awards that I give each year on behalf of this organization, our Distinguished Service Award is certainly my favorite, and it is. Our Distinguished Service Award is the highest honor that this organization can bestow on an individual that we all know unselfishly serves North Carolina and our state's farmers. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2019 recipient this year exemplifies to me the definition of someone who has dedicated themselves, has dedicated their life to improving the livelihood and the standard of living for our farmers and for building leadership for the future of North Carolina agriculture and for North Carolina as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great deal of pleasure this morning for us to present our Distinguished Service Award to none other than Dr. W.K. Bill Collins. Bill Collins grew up on a tobacco farm in Vance County and was the first in his family to attend college. After graduating, Dr. Collins served 2 years as a U.S. Army officer. He then returned to NC State to work as a research instructor in the Tobacco Variety Evaluation Program and earned his master's degree during that time. From there, Bill Collins went to Iowa State University, where he received a PhD in plant breeding and spent 3 years as an industry agronomist. Dr. Collins returned to NC State University in 1966 as an extension tobacco specialist. For 20 years, he held that position, and all of us that were in agriculture, particularly in tobacco, knew that. All the students knew that. He conducted applied research, provided science-based information for farmers, and teaching tobacco production. I was the beneficiary, like many of you, of his instruction and his tobacco technology course. And by the way, I made an A in his course. I can't say that for all of them, but for his course, because it was he's a great instructor. Dr. Collins went on to serve as associate head of NC State's Crop Science Department for 8 years. Then he became a coordinator of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences tobacco program. In the 1970s, Dr. Collins helped start a short course for young tobacco farmers that he to this day continues to lead. His contributions to the tobacco industry in North Carolina are beyond significant. He is a worldwide authority on tobacco. He is sought all over this world wherever tobacco is grown. During his tenure, he has taught more than 1,000 students. His teaching and his research not only helped double our tobacco farmers' yields, but they also became an essential component of university research and extension work on an array of crops, as I said, around the world. But I'll tell you this, Bill Collins is more than tobacco. He serves nearly full-time working through CAL's advancement as co-director of the North Carolina Agriculture Leadership Development Program, formerly known as the Philip Morris Ag Leadership Development Program. Through his tireless work, and I've seen that over the last 10 or 15 years, through his tireless work and under Bill Collins' direction, the CAL's Ag Leadership Program received a $5 million grant from the North Carolina Tobacco Trust Fund Commission, ensuring, ladies and gentlemen, that this program will continue growing and developing our state's farmers and ag professionals well into the future. And we certainly helped him with that, but he was a motivator behind securing that grant. Dr. Collins has received the prestigious Watauga Medal, the highest award that you can receive from NC State, for his innumerable contributions to the College of Agriculture and to North Carolina State University itself. He is also the recipient of the Order of the Longleaf Pine for his contributions to bettering the lives of North Carolinians. Ladies and gentlemen, Farm Bureau members, it would take all afternoon for me to list all the accomplishments that Bill Collins has achieved during his lifetime. Most of us have the privilege of knowing him, I do, as a mentor and a friend. And we will all say that his greatest gifts are his common sense, his forward-thinking approach to life, and the wit and the wisdom that he has shared with us inside and outside of the classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, as president of this organization and on behalf of all of our Farm Bureau members across this great state of North Carolina, Dr. Collins, I am honored this morning to present our highest award to you, someone who is truly deserving of this special recognition. Bill Collins, will you please come forward?
I'm going to go out of here and look around to see if we can find that fella he was talking about, because I tell you what, he laid it on. It was very good. And he's a friend of mine for sure. And I accept this award with great humility. They tried to tell me 5 to 7 minutes for this, and I'm going to take them all. And so I will first start to say that whatever I have done, it has been with many people. Foremost is my wife, Ann, is sitting here. Make her stand up. Stand up. She got a broken bone in her foot, but I didn't cause it. I know that. Anyway, I have received other awards, as he enumerated, and this is such a prestigious award. It makes me feel so good that I put it at the top of the list because it comes from the Farm Bureau of North Carolina, an organization that I hold in very high esteem. And so I congratulate you on all that you have done to help the quality of life. This is a world-class organization and is the voice of agriculture and ag-related businesses in North Carolina because of what you do. And it is great to be associated with you. Now, I'll tell a story, and I'll try to make it brief. I had a granddaughter. We took a horseback riding at 4 or 5 years old for her first time. And on the way back to Richmond, she was in the back seat, so I said to Alexa, "Alexa, what do you think about this horseback riding you went to yesterday?" And she said, "Granddaddy, it would take me 1,000,000 years to tell you what I thought of it." Isn't that great? And this is what it would, in this particular award, it would take 1,000,000 years for me to tell you what I think of it because it's great. My relationship with Farm Bureau, as Larry has said, has been many cases, but I want to kind of speak to one particular one, and that has the one that's called the Agricultural Leadership Development Program, because it has meant so much for North Carolina. It's meant so much not only to Farm Bureau, so much to the organizations, so much to the rural communities, whether it's in the fire department or many have told me it's helped their relationship with their spouses and their families. So it has been dynamic in that particular area. Briefly, the Philip Morris Ag Leadership Program started back in '84. It was funded entirely by Philip Morris, but after the buyout in 2004, the lawyer said it couldn't be doing whatever. And so we went without any money. We went without any support. And it takes now it takes $30,000 per applicant. That's $900,000 to run the program. And then, because of the leadership of Peter Daniel, Larry Wooden, and other Farm Bureau members, we were able to get a $5 million grant from the endowment from the Tobacco Trust Fund, William Upchurch. I hope he's here this morning. But anyway, that was dynamic. But that turns out a couple of $100,000 a year. But during those dry years, it was the Farm Bureau that kept us alive, not only with money. We do all our meetings at the Farm Bureau building, and that is colossal in terms of support, in terms of finances and every other thing, and it's a good climate to do that in. And so we've changed the program now with the endowment. It was formerly tobacco, but it's no longer. We only had 6 tobacco farmers in the last class of 30. So I reach out to you, and whatever organization you are in, there's a special allocation for the tobacco farmers, but they're not going to be able to take it up. And so we were looking, and we will have another class starting next October. There are many challenges in the future, and in my opinion, it is the Farm Bureau leadership. Now, we talk about leadership, and my idea about leadership is favorable influence. It's favorable influence. Will play a big role in doing this. So we have the most diversified agriculture in the Southeast for sure, maybe Florida, but in the nation we're maybe 3rd or 4th, and we have lots of opportunities, lots of challenges to help us go forward. To say the least, the hemp one is there. I also have in my notes, I'd like for those who have been in the leadership program, the 2-year leadership program, how about standing so these people can see? I have seen numerous ones of you here. Stand up. I can see Faylene. Look, isn't it all over the place? But they also. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, my minutes are closing, and I could feel good about this. I feel good about this organization, and particularly good about this award. The latest thing that Farm Bureau is helping with, we have an initiative on the campus called the Plant Science Initiative, and this is a $160 million initiative to get this done. Farm Bureau has helped. They've helped with the Gold Leaf Foundation. They've helped Trust Fund. They've helped with all sorts of organizations. And I think without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we're going to do. And Dean Linton will speak to that later. In closing, I just again want to single out a few. I know this is a little bit dangerous, but I'm going to do it anyway. Who have been instrumental in what we have done, or I have done, or worked with, and that's Larry Wooden and Peter Daniel and Linda Andrews. She's a real jewel. And if you don't believe it, go to Washington. When Linda speaks, it's like E.F. Hutton, I tell you what. She's there all the time. And Jay Boyette, I know he's here. He has worked with us a lot in a lot of commodities, particularly tobacco, but certainly others. And it goes on, Lori Lawrence. You don't know what when I do budgets on this leadership program, what we save and how accommodating it is to ride up there, and they got all the parking spaces up for us. I know the employees probably throwing rocks at us, but anyway, it has been great. So again, I want to thank you for the recognition, and Lindy, I want to thank you too for helping with this script. And just close and say thank you very much. You got it.